Good. All right, what's up, everybody? Joshua Smith here, and we are live. We are recording, so we're gonna make sure that you guys all get a copy of this afterwards because there's so much that goes into this. It's really important to be here and ask your questions, and but a lot of this stuff with Facebook, just anything that's techie, right? It's nice to have that reference where you can rewatch. So truly appreciate you guys being here. We wanted to put this webinar on just because, as so many of you have witnessed and you've seen, man, Facebook's always changing, right? And more recently than we've seen more changes than we have, or at least that I'm aware of in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been using it heavily. And there's a lot. Again, I mean, with all the changes with Facebook, this is the love hate with Facebook is. In my opinion, this is why Facebook continues to be the juggernaut, and I think will be for a lot of years to come because of the leadership, right? Mark Zuckerberg he's obsessed and he's just a beast at making sure that they're brilliant at what they do for marketers. But with that being said, that also then means they got to keep up with the times. They're not going to become irrelevant. So there's a lot of changes that happen. So you got to keep up with it. I mean, the 3 or 4 years, probably been over 4 years now. I think I got into it around 2015. So 3.5 years ago or so. There's been insane changes where it's almost like a full-time job just to keep up with. But then now, with the media, not just the media, but the government, Mark Zuckerberg got his hand slapped a little bit, and they had to pull some things away from targeting and whatever to protect the consumer. So a lot of you have seen a lot of different changes with that. So we want to do an updated training for you guys to just kind of walk you through what's working. Some of these changes that have been made. But then we were overdue for some updated Facebook ads training anyway. But with all these changes, and as much as I possibly can, I like to bring on Brett Rakowski. Those of you that don't know Brett, or this is maybe your first time being on a webinar that Brett and I have done together, Brett is a real estate agent in Florida. He's a Perfect Storm client as well. But he's just one of these dudes that just took the whole Facebook Legion to the next level, man. I mean, I met Brett several years ago, and we were working on some Facebook stuff together, and he just became obsessed with it, became just amazing at it. He's just a freaking ninja to the point where we were actually just talking that it's almost been a full year. October 1st will be a full year that I got to the point where I'm like, Brett, dude, can I just pay you to run all my Facebook stuff? Because you're way better at it than I am. He's the best I've ever seen at it, right? And I've worked with so many agencies, you guys. So I wanted to bring Brett. I asked Brett to come on and just spend, a couple hours with us today, just showing us everything that he's doing, because it's not just that he's running his own real estate business, Facebook ads in his own business, but he's got like 60 some clients now too, one-on-one, clients that he runs ads for. So real estate agents all over the place, as well as mine. I gave Brett my my permission to jump into my ads and show you guys everything that I have, because I always try to be very transparent and disclose all that stuff with you guys. So I'm going to shut up here in just a second and let Brett take over. But here's where we find this to be really powerful in these sessions is ask questions, man. And this is what I like to do these joint where, I can make sure I'm fielding the questions and asking Brett the questions and going deep into your Q&A ads that you guys are doing or frustrations that you're having or questions that you're having, plus Brett will be demonstrating a lot of stuff that new stuff as well. So with that being said, I'm going to shut up and let Brett take over. So it's all yours, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a year. It's been a crazy year, man. So now I appreciate you letting me jump on and help everyone out as much as possible, and just give as much back to you and to your businesses, because you've done the same for me. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we'll jump into this. The first thing, how I want to structure this is just go over a couple different things. Obviously, we're going to dive deep on the detailed targeting and what people, what the changes of Facebook. If you've been following Joshua and the way he teaches it and the way that if you know who I am and how I teach it, there really hasn't been much changes as far as the detailed target. A lot has come off, but the way that we teach it is you shouldn't have had any issues, right, and seen any drop in cost per lead, but we'll go over that. So we're going to go over the detailed targeting. We're going to go over some long form leads that we're running for multiple clients that's definitely crushing it and just getting a lot more data. We're going to go over how to use that lead form and how you know, Joshua, the number one question is, oh, how do we get sellers on Facebook, right? How do we get sellers? How do we get sellers? How do we get sellers? We hear that all the time, and it's buyer's ads. We're going to go over that, and we're going to show some stats and prove that out, that about 35% of your buyer leads own a home. And we're going to show some stats there. Then we'll dive into some Q&A. I'll show you how to set up these long form lead ads. We'll dive into Q&A and show you some different things that Facebook has rolled out that I think are going to be game changers here in the future. I don't think they're 100% ready to start throwing money at them yet, but I definitely think that there's some things that Facebook is doing that I'm starting to really be more obsessed with, and really think that, like Josh said, that this is going to be a juggernaut for a very long time. So first thing we want to talk about is detailed targeting. So how we run ads is interest-based, right? And that's how Facebook's going more towards that interest-based targeting. All the data that we used to get, likely to move, homeowners, what their income is, which they've actually just added that back in. It's just a different form, and I'll show you guys that as well. And you know, different demographics, the type of cars people are buying, all that was third-party data that was bought by Facebook from other companies. And that's what got them in trouble, right? They're paying these other companies to go out and get data for them and put it into their platform. But these companies, and let's go back. It was only one company that got them in trouble, right? But it only takes one, right? It only takes one bad company to, person to do business with. So they were going out and they were getting all this data not the most kosher way possible. So that's what caused all these things and Facebook to make changes. So first thing we want to talk about is, like I said, what is there available that you can use? And as far as interest, what I always tell everyone is we need to think about what somebody is searching and where somebody would go if they want real estate. What are some of the ideas? And I'm going to go, we're going to talk about it here, and then I'll show you on Facebook how to do all this. But Facebook collects a lot of data when you're on their app and on their website. Everything you click on, every page you like, every page that you visited, every page that you've searched, every website you've been on that has a Facebook pixel, they're collecting all that data. They know what you're going to do before you do it usually, right? They're going to usually put an ad in front of you that is very relevant to what you are searching or looking on. So that's why interests are very powerful, because it's all data that Facebook has collected from your search history. So for example, if somebody is looking for a home, the first place they're going to go to is Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Homes.com, Redfin, right? They're going to go to one of these sites. Why are we not adding those as an interest? People that show interest, that like these, that have been on these websites. That's one, right? That's the first thing. Then you could dive deep into if somebody is interested in a VA loan, an FHA loan, a home equity loan, whatever types of different things, and we'll go here in just a moment and really dive deep on that. Then you have, outside of interest, you still have demographics. This is stuff that individuals are putting in their Facebook profile, right? Their age, their gender, their relationship status, their education, where they work, their job titles, and more, right? There's still a lot of data that we can use, but everyone wants, Facebook is for good marketers, right? It really is. It really everyone tries to overthink it, and they try to take the easy way out, which is, hey, I want to put all my ads in front of people that own homes. Well, guess what? You're already paying, just by using that demographic or that behavior, you're paying 15% to 20% more per impression. So anytime somebody sees that, you're being charged 15 more per cent per 15% more per impression, right? So it just is, I like to say it was almost like it's just a crutch for marketers that just want the easy way out. And I'm going to show you right now that you don't need those demographics. You don't need, if you're concerned about putting money in Facebook because that stuff is gone, you don't need that. And we're going to show you why. So first thing, like I said, interest, let's dive. Let me pull up Google real quick and just jump into, let's jump into Joshua's. Oh, that's the group. No, that was it, Revisto. So I'm going to go through just real quick since we're in here, the differences of the campaigns real quick. So if you're looking to run lead generation and conversion is the only way Joshua and I teach it, right? Lead generation is using a lead form. Conversion is using your website to generate the lead, your website lead capture. So we're going to only talk about lead gen today and using lead form. So once you've selected your campaign, your ad set is your audience, your placement, and your budget. Okay, so this is where you're going to put that detailed targeting information into. You're going to put all your Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, all that into this portion called the ad set. Okay, so first thing we want to do is obviously select the right page, and we're going to select Revisto. Now, anytime you are in here, if you create one ad, like say you're running for Surprise, Arizona, right? We can always save this audience and use this multiple times. You don't have to type all this stuff in every single time. And I'll show you a quick way to do this, but let's dial it all in. So we're going to run an ad for Surprise, Arizona. And what we do is we run a 10-mile radius. What we've seen is that when we first started, it was current city only. But what we've noticed is that sometimes when you do that, you can't get enough potential reach, and so that's the amount of people that you can target in that one area. And then we've also seen that most individuals that buy a home in a specific city come from another city, right? So why do we want to miss out on those opportunities of individuals outside of that specific city you're targeting? So we always start with a 10-mile radius, and then we want to make sure that we get at least 50,000 people here. If not, I'm going to show you a quick tool that'll help you expand that reach. But here you can see that right now there's 410,000 people. All right, so then here is our detailed targeting inside the ad set. Once we have the location, we can target such things as, again, age, gender, interests, certain behavior, some demographics, right? So we've always seen that 25 to 28 is usually that range where they're a first-time home buyer is going to be. So you can change this. Now, some people say, and we haven't seen it, that you have to target 18 and older. Again, so just use that with caution. If you feel that you want to follow the rules 100% and have no issues, then it's 18. But we haven't seen any issues with Facebook banning our ads or turning the ads off or nothing like that based off the age. So we always use 25 and older, and then we change it as the ad starts running, okay, depending on what our stats are for each age range. So once we have that, we're always going to do all men and women. Joshua and I differ here a little bit with men and women. We've seen that we'd rather run multiple ads for the same amount of money, different types of ads, and utilize that ad budget for other things than having separated men and women. But Josh likes to be a little bit detailed. So again, it's the same thing. It's the way for you to scale, though. If you want to spend more money, it's very easy. So whether you're selecting men only or women or all, that's your gender here, right? Then you have your languages. I don't touch this at all. We don't mess around with the languages. A lot of people ask us, hey, can we only target Spanish people? Well, no, because that doesn't really coincide with the fair housing, right? That's where Facebook with real estate is getting really, really, really deep on, is making sure that you are not discriminating in any way possible. So the next step, once we have the age and the gender and the location, we have our detailed targeting. Okay, so our detailed targeting, like I said, the first thing, the easiest way I could teach you to do this is literally just type in Zillow. Okay, and all this is going to be, everything you're going to select is going to be interest only. So you see here Zillow as an interest. You're going to select it. It's got 27 million people that are interested or like Zillow. Then you just hit this suggestions box and it tells you everything else to pick. Realtor.com. All right, hit suggestions again. Trulia, Realtor.com. There's two of them. I don't know why, but if you look at both of them, there are a couple million. So I use both of those. Homes.com. Redfin, right? Anyone that's interested in real estate, anyone that's interested in house hunting, okay? I mean, you can really see all the different things that are here. Mortgage loans, right? FHA insured loans. There's so much data that you can get from inside of these, inside of the interest space. Like there's so much in here, and you see that from 410,000, we narrowed it down to 180,000, right? You can do VA loans, but you see here that the more that I keep adding, it doesn't go up any higher because there's only there's only so much. Even if you keep adding more, there's only 400,000 people that are interested in mortgage calculators in the United States. So it's not really going to mess around with the potential reach once you hit. It's almost like a law of diminishing returns, right? When you put too much, it doesn't really do much for you. So again, once you hit that mark where it's 100,000, 200,000, you can stop and you can play with this. You can make 2 different ad sets if you wanted to, right? Same location, but you're targeting, maybe only 6 of these interests, and then you try a different 6 and see which is getting better results, right? So this is essentially where things have changed inside of detailed targeting. Okay, there are if you browse in here, there are behaviors that you can use, but like if we type in likely to move, it'll no longer show up, right? No longer likely to move. If we type in home ownership, right, just homeowner as an interest, nothing shows up anymore. They've taken that away completely, but and it makes me feel like they're going to put something back, because if we go into financial, this is something that they took away. You used to be able to target based off of how much money somebody makes. Well, guess what? Now it's just based off a percentage per zip code, right? So you have financial household income, financial income demographics, household income, top 5% of zip codes, top 10%, 10 to 50, 10 to 25, top 25 to 50. So this gives me a good indication that they are probably going to add back some sort of home ownership, but I think they just need to dial it in so that they're not taking, they don't get hit by HUD again for that. So one thing I want to talk about in here is in the locations, you can no longer target zip code specific. Facebook will turn your ads off for real estate if they're zip code specific. You may be able to run them right off the bat, but they will get turned down. So that's up here. If you type in a zip code, 33315, you can pull in just the zip code. You can test that out, but I've seen that they've started turning some ads off. They're not going to, ding your account, but if they start turning your ads off for zip code specific, then I'd stop doing that and just do. You could do a pin drop if you wanted with a smaller radius, or a specific address with a smaller radius than 10 miles. So that's something I would do there. But yeah, detailed targeting, let's only focus on interest-based. And if you're those that want to narrow down and exclude realtors from seeing your ads, right? We just come in here, we have to do job, we have to do it the old way where, we go into demographics, work, who's their employer, you can type in Keller Williams, if I could spell it right. All right, it might not even show up. They might even got rid of some of that, but you can go into job title and just literally come in here, industries. I think real estate was in here. They might have taken that out, so that's not in there, right? You just search whatever it is. Let's go back. Demographics, work, job title. You can do real estate, right? Real estate broker, and you can literally just type in. If you don't see it here, you can just type in here, real estate. All right, and just scroll through. Here's employers as real estate. You can type in Keller Williams, right? Keller Williams Realty as an employer. And you see here, it's not really taking that much off because this is just a 10-mile radius in one small area. So again, if you really wanted to, you can literally go here, Remax, take off Remax as an employer, and really just dive deep on this. We haven't seen that a lot of realtors are clicking on these ads or looking at. In the end, you can go and see what any realtor in your market what their ads are running, and we'll show you that later as well. Different little trick to see what your competitors are running. But then from here, once you have all this dialed in, we will 100% be ready to run. And you can even save this audience, and you can name this, you know, surprise buyers, you know, 10 plus miles or 10-mile radius, right? Plus 10 miles. And now you can go in here, and anytime you need to run an ad in surprise, boom, here it is, right? And you can save that. Okay, and then it just shows up here as a saved audience. And you can always edit this as you go. From there, once we have the interest dialed in, obviously we're only going to run the Facebook newsfeed. We've tested different, you know, Instagram. We haven't seen a huge results. I think it's just the demographics of the majority of people that use Instagram. But you know, if we do find a good strategy that works, we will let Josh know and definitely put a training together for that. But right now we only run it in Facebook news feeds. And then the daily budget is essentially what you want to put per day. And you'll see here your potential reach for the day would be 470 to 1,300 people for $20. You know, we only do $5, maybe $10 max. I'd rather take a, you know, $30 budget a day and put as many different ads out as possible versus spending, you know, $20 on one ad per day. And Josh, if you have any questions based off this, if you think we need to stop, like if it's a good question, you think we need to stop while we're inside going through any of this, just let me know as well.
Cool, yeah, that you guys have, just fire those off in here. And, you know, if it pertains to what Brett's talking about, I'll make sure to ask. I'm watching the questions. I'm not seeing any yet, but they come.
Okay, cool, perfect. Awesome. So yeah, so again, we'll do a Q&A at the end, but yeah, what I would say is as long as we're targeting interests, like I said, just hit that, type in Zillow as an interest. Josh even has somewhere we have, Josh, either you have it, I have one, I don't know if you do as well. We can share it with them, literally just whatever interests are inside of Facebook, right? So literally just type in Zillow and dial that in, really know your market. This is where, if you have a customer avatar where it's like, hey, you want to target a specific person, this is where you do that, right? You can't get it really down to a specific income bracket or that they're homeowner, but you can still do income base. You can still do what type of job they have. If they're a firefighter or you know, a teacher and you know, a doctor, whatever that case may be, whatever your customer avatar is, your ideal client, boom, you can still put it all in here. So that's what I wanted to touch on the detailed targeting, because a lot of people are overthinking this, and it's really, as long as you stay interest based, nothing, everything is still working as is, and the results are actually better now, I think, than they were, because a lot of realtors and a lot of marketers have stopped marketing on Facebook. And guess what? That opens up more marketing space. So it's a very good thing when Facebook makes a change, if you stick with it and are consistent. So from there, that's what we have for the detailed targeting. Let's go back to to this here. So we have the detailed targeting. So now, what type of ads do we run? A lot of people ask this question: what type of ads can you run inside of Facebook, right? So the most common that we run are homes lists, like, so all homes list. What we mean by this is running homes lists for every single home, like saying, hey, check out all these homes that just hit the market in Surprise, Arizona, starting at a certain price point. All right, Josh and his team know that they don't want, like, their ideal client is a $250,000 price point or higher, right? That's where they see the best returns with all splits and everything, and the team, that they need to be above that. So guess what? We don't run any ads that say under anymore. They always start at a certain price, because what we've seen is that the cost per lead is not going to change if we have a higher price point on there. It usually doesn't, you know, a little bit higher. And then the consumer really, they're going to say, all right, it's 250 or above. Well, I'm only, you know, qualified for 150. Well, guess what? They are qualifying themselves. And if that's not your ideal client and you don't want to do business with anyone under 250,000, well, guess what? They're not going to click it. Now, is it going to stop everyone from clicking? No. you're still going to get leads that are looking at 200,000. But if we can qualify the lead as much as possible with the ad copy, we're going to do that, right? So then you can do homes lists. This is the most traditional, is under a median price point. So the median price point, why we do that is because that's where the most of the leads and the most of the buyers are inside of your market. Okay, that is where, again, where the masses are. So the median price point is a great one. Just listed is killer, and we're going to show you some things that we're running with just listeds. Coming soon, putting a coming soon campaign with Perfect Storm. You know you have the supplemental listings. Maybe takes you 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to put it together. And guess what? If you know going into a listing appointment that you have a strategy to market the property on Facebook before it goes to the market, before you put on MLS and you're putting it out, well, guess what? Is there a chance that you could get a lead from it? Absolutely. Is it likely? No, but the sellers think that, you know, they look at that as an added value. For me, I used Perfect when I think it was about a year and a half ago, almost now. I took a listing, I did a supplemental listing inside of Perfect Storm. Inside that supplemental listing, I put it on Facebook. I did an open house, a pre-MLS open house, double-ended both sides, right? So, and not only that, I also generated a couple buyer leads from that as well. But again, I sold the house before I even put it on the market. So coming soon are great as long as you have a strategy to go forward, you know, to move forward with that, right? Then open houses, this can be inside of Perfect Storm. You can create a link of all the open houses inside your market, or you can just promote your open house, right? Also, we have a home value ad that you can create. These are pretty high, but again, they're somewhat effective in different markets. Not every market they're very effective, but you can still. We had one client that was literally all we were doing is running a conversion campaign to her sell page on Perfect Storm, generating partial leads, right? So that's just address, partial, and there was a couple full, like $2.50 per lead, right? It wasn't, now not all of them are full name, phone number, email, and address. But again, if you have at least the address, you can look them up, you know, do a pop-by, do a CMA, mail it out. So that's all different things that you can do on the lead generation side. And then we have the branding side of things. What can you do, right? You can do videos promoting your business, doing a walkthrough of an open house, and targeting those in a 1 mile radius. You know, people that live in a 1 mile radius. Just sold. You can do a video of a just sold, promote a just sold inside that 1 mile radius of that market. You could do client testimonials, right? This is very good. We've seen some clients that have crushed it with their client testimonials. This would be something that you're going to want to, you could do to cold traffic, but mainly to a warm audience, meaning you can put in your customer, anyone that's in your database, and put those, you know, promote those client testimonials to them on Facebook as well, and emails and stuff like that, right? So these are some different types of ads that you can run. But for the most part, buyers ads, anything on the left side with the lead generation is crushing it right now, minus home value, but we're going to show you why buyers ads will generate you listings as well. So, so these are the type of ads that we want to run. And then I wanted to let you know how to tell if your ads are running, performing well, because it's not always about the cost per lead, and what factors that determine an effective ad. And there are a couple things, right? So your click-through rate is huge. So that's the amount of people that are taking action on your ad, whether they're clicking a link, clicking a picture, going to your Facebook page, liking your Facebook page. These are the top 5 that Facebook looks at when it comes to their algorithm, when they're putting your ad up for bidding to get an impression, right? Your relevant score, how relevant your ad is to the consumer. This is based off of a 1 out of 10 scale, 10 being the highest, right? So you want it to be at least a 7 to a 10. Your positive and negative feedback. Positive, you want it to be high. Negative, you want it to be medium or lower. Now, what that is that Positive is people taking action, people liking, staying on the ad for more than 3 seconds. Negative is people just scrolling by it, hiding it, reporting it as spam maybe, right? Then your cost per lead, and then social proof, likes, shares, comments. These are all things that determine what runs. So what we do is click-through rate. We've seen about 11%, 11 to 20%, depending on the ads. Sometimes they're a little bit lower, but that's what we've seen on average for our ads for the click-through rate. Like I said, relevant score, you want to have a 7 to 10, if possible. Usually if you're running just listed, just sold, coming soon, stuff like that, you're going to have, and targeting the right people, you're going to have a very high score. And we'll show you some Josh's here in just a moment. The cost per lead nationwide right now, we're running ads, and it's a $3.15 cost per lead. Some markets a little bit higher, but anywhere from we have ads running right now at 50 cents per lead, all the way up to $20 per lead, depending on the type of ad and so on and so forth, right, in the market. The positive, negative feedback, I told you, high positive, low negative, and then social proof, that there's not really much you can really base it off of there, but the more likes, shares, and comments you do get, the better.
Can I hit on something there though? And you might
go ahead
on this, but just
go ahead,
because you and I, Brett, I mean, we see so many people that focus so heavily on cost per lead, right? And this is what that you just talked about a moment ago of where, you and I were going through this. It was revamping some of the strategy, and it was like, my focus, or our team's focus, really, our ideal client is 28 to, let's say, 42-year-olds. So those that are in the 30s, young kids at home, married couples that live in the suburbs, buy single family attached real estate, that $250,000 to $400,000 price point. And I remember at one point we had a couple that were we had 1 cent leads. But that's what we're running foreclosure ads. We're running buy cheaper than you can rent ads. And even though the cost per lead we'd be under $1 all day long, all the sifting and sorting and work that went into those ended up pushing our time so much more that a low cost per lead, like what matters at the end of the day, or at least my focus always, is my cost per acquisition, right? Which means
100%.
How much did I spend total? And I look at it from a monetary stance and a time stance to go out there and close a commission check and make a commission check. So like right now with the stuff that Brett's running for us, we're just under, we're like $280 roughly right now, just under that cost per acquisition. So our average commission is, let's just say, $6,500. We spend $280 to make $6,500. Yeah, right. I mean, that to me that's a very good ROI, right? But don't get caught up in the whole cost per lead game. I mean, cost per lead is important, but right. I mean, you want to make sure these are people that, number one, you're able to sell houses to. I mean, if you're like, for example, when we run those foreclosure ads, we could always want to be investors, and it was like 350 leads to get a client, right? Same thing with the buy cheaper than you could rent. It was so much sorting through bad credit, whatever that, again, the amount of leads to get one deal, even though the cost per lead maybe was a fifth of the price, it's ended up costing us much more in the long run. So, you guys just think about that. Is what really matters more than anything else is how many total leads, right? And what is your total cost that you spent to go out there and make that commission? And when you do the math on that, that becomes your cost per acquisition. And the reason I want to share that, dude, is because we see it all day long when people are bragging about the cost per lead. I always get asked "Oh, dude, what's your best cost per lead?" I'm like, that's the wrong question, right? The right question is, what's your best cost per lead?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And when we get on calls with other clients and stuff like that too, it's the same thing. And it's yes, we can get you a very low cost per lead, but do you want to go through 500 leads a month as a single agent, right? Most agents will they just burn out, right? Unless you're like yourself and you have an ISA that's going through all of them, and that's his or her job is to just sit through all those. Like, you get burnt out, especially with the day-to-day. So 100%. We've seen that, and we don't even run those type of ads anymore for any of our clients, because, like you said, it takes 350 leads to get one. Like, that's just too much time and too much energy spent. Like you said, your time is money, right? So that goes, yeah, I 100% am with you. Absolutely. What's that cost per acquisition? That really is the most important thing, right? Because if it costs, you said your cost is your commission, average commission is 6,500. It's costing you $5,000 to get one closing. That's not it's not a real good ROI, right? So 100% with you on that. You know, we can generate leads all day, but in the end, it really comes down to I'm gonna take that back. Not the quality of lead. I was gonna say that, but you know, the cost per acquisition for sure. So what we've actually started testing out, and we're gonna get into that now. Let me see if I can click on. Here we go. Is doing some long form ads. And Josh, I know you and I, you know, we haven't even really, I know you've seen a couple of videos that I put out, but we haven't even really gone over the stats and everything. We're going to go over that now with 2 campaigns that we have running for you. And like I said, so like everyone asks, what's the type of, you know, how do we get seller ads? How do we get better quality leads? What's the average time frame that a buyer, you know, how long is it that we're going to get, you know, how do I word this question? What's the turnaround time of me starting to run Facebook ads before I get my first closing, right? We have a lot of stats and a lot of data right now. And what we're seeing is that roughly 35% of buyer leads own a home. And guess what? Sellers need a new home. So they start out looking to see if there's anything else that they can afford or if there's anything on the market that they like. So what we've seen is that long form lead ads tell the story of the lead. They're a little bit more expensive. Right now, I think, we'll go over the stats now. I think it's like $3.50 right now. I think, Josh, we're running your ads for total. We have some that are a little bit higher, some that are a little bit lower. But then we also have these ads that we're running that are like $6 per lead, but you're getting name, phone number, email, their time frame, if they own or rent, what they're looking for, the price range they're looking for. So guess what? It becomes more effective for Armando to call and connect with them without having to ask those questions up front, right? So actually, let's go back here. So let's go into Google. Can I escape? There we go.
Yeah, and then when you're showing this too, I know you're able to show all the samples that you have in mind, but I'm sure we have some newer Perfect Storm clients on here that may not know how to even set up a lead ad. You know, like can you just like maybe
I'm gonna go through.
Doing your thing, like go through and just kind of do a whole walkthrough of. I know it only takes you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do a whole walkthrough.
Yep, I'm gonna do both of those. I'll do one just name, phone number, email, and then I'm gonna do one here with these that's asking all this information, right? We'll do all that for sure before we go into the Q&A. And then like I said, I'm gonna go through some different strategies that are coming up that we're gonna test out that we see that's gonna be a huge game changer. So what I was saying is these longer form lead ads that we're running that we'll go here in a minute, what we're asking 5 qualifying questions, or 4 qualifying questions, right? When are you looking to buy your home? All right, so I think we can, when are you looking to buy your new home? How many bedrooms are you looking for? What's the price range, and do you rent or own? Right? So what we've seen is if we filter this out, now, and Josh, these are from 2 ads. There's 53 leads in here. 27 of them say they own a home. That's crazy. Like everyone wants seller leads. Well, guess what? They're here. They're in your buyer's ads. Now, is this 100%? Like people could be lazy and just click own. Like, of course, I get that. So we're not going to say it's going to be 50%. We're going to do some error in here. And like I said, 35% should own a home, right? You're getting the price range that people are looking in, right? So we're I mean, there's some in here, 150 to 250, 250 to 350, right? There's some higher end ones in here, 450 plus. I'm not really too worried about that. What I'm worried about here is if we sort this, what are the time frames of everybody? All right, we got here and here. There's 14 leads that are 1 to 3 months out. All right, then we have all these leads that are 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 1 year plus, and then we have those that are not sure. Right, these are the ones that I think a lot of them own a home, as you can see here, and they're like, hey, if we can find something, maybe we'll buy. Right, so these are the ones that Could be now, could be in 2 years, who knows? But if we get a hold of them, guess what? We know they own a home. If we can find them that perfect property, boom, it's a double-sided deal, right? So just knowing this data is insane. And so everyone wants to know how to get a higher quality lead. Well, there's really, online leads are online leads, right? There's never no real way to get a higher quality lead other than knowing the data and knowing when they are looking and stuff like that, right? So again, just asking this, and how do you,
it's bad follow-up strategy.
Yeah, what is it you always say? Leads are never an issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Always follow up.
Never meet an agent where they are, right? I mean, it's the. But I mean, if you analyze this, I mean, just imagine the power. This is the first time you guys I'm even seeing this. Brett hit me up the other day. It's like, hey, I'm gonna test some new stuff, and he generates all the leads. They go to Armando, who is a teammate of mine, who's just a badass with lead follow up. He converts them to appointments, and we have a couple agents that go out there and convert these into, work with the clients, get them into closings. And so this is the first time I'm actually seeing this, dude. But I mean, imagine the power of the conversations. I mean, even your first follow-up call, right? It's like, hey, Amanda, just wanted to double check, showing that you're looking at 1 to 3 months, X amount of bedrooms. I just want to make sure that I've got this right. I know your time's busy. I don't want to waste your time. I want to make sure I'm sending you exactly what you're looking for, exactly what you want. Right? Like, I mean, you're able to lead from a place of contribution at such a higher level.
Yeah, absolutely. Versus trying to get that from them, right? Now, yes, like I said, it's a little bit more expensive to lead, but again, if you can use this data and convert it at a better ratio, you always talk about leading with contribution and getting people to know you, like you, trust you. Well, guess what? If you're calling them, like you just said, and you already know what they're looking for, that conversation is going to be quicker. You don't need to break down their barriers because they already told you what they want. So it's 100%. I think building this up, again, we're still building out the strategies and everything, but I'm going to show you guys, if you want to test it out on your own, again, these are literally just homes list ads. You see, this is Phoenix open house homes, right? And then we have surprise pool homes list. There's nothing special about these. We're like I said, and we're going to go over that now, how to ask, and then all of this data. Perfect Storm just built this out, I think about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. All this data is pulled from the lead form and automatically uploaded in the notes section when the lead comes in. Automatically, you don't have to do anything. It's already there with the questions, with the data, everything for you to see. So everything is seamless, and that's why I personally, you'll never see me on another website platform at all, because just what Perfect Storm is doing for you guys as the consumer, and making things so much easier than any other company. We work with every platform out there you can think of in the industry right now, hands down, by far. Even today, even seeing everything, you guys are with the best, and I am as well, right? So, again, Josh, just want to take a minute to thank you for building this out, right? So, so let's see how we can do that, right? So
real quick though, Brett, 'cause I had a question from our homeboy Jeremy Smith here. He asks if that spreadsheet is the one that's downloadable. I mean, that's a CSV spreadsheet that comes from Facebook, right? But
correct.
Right. Okay, cool. But that now is auto. You just probably keep this up for just percentages, tracking reasons. But all this is auto done in Perfect Storm. So you wouldn't, if you have a Perfect Storm CRM, there's no reason you'd ever have to really do the spreadsheet.
Never. Nope. You'll never have to do this. Absolutely not. The only time you'll ever have to do this if your integration, fails for like every time, from time to time, and it's every CRM that we see, even Zapier, if you're using it, the integration will go down, and you got to reset it. You and I, Josh, have gone through that a couple times with Perfect Storm and having to reset it. But yeah, that's the only time you'll need to download it. But if everything's working seamlessly, it pulls in right off any of these questions you ask. And I'll show you, I'll just share a lead, and if you're okay with that, Josh, me logging in and how it looks when it comes in. If you're cool with that.
Pull it all, do that. I mean, the more the better, man. If you can show everybody how to do it, build it, whatever it's.
Yeah, perfect. So we're going to go in right now, and just for time purposes, because everyone knows how to create a Facebook ad. So Josh, I'm just going to duplicate one, just to we'll go and I'll go step by step. Or do you want me to just build one out? Doesn't matter. Just build out whole ad.
Yeah, I mean, if you have, if you, just in case,
Yeah,
we get a lot of new customers.
I got time. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. All right. So first thing we want to do, obviously, we're going to log into Facebook Business Manager, go to Ads Manager. For those of you, Josh and I use actual Business Manager. Some of you might use your personal ad account. I personally like, and I always tell all of our clients to create a business account. You get a little bit more data and tracking and stuff like that you can utilize. But if not, don't make, so everyone gets this, and I want to touch on this real quick because everyone gets this confused. You always have a Facebook personal ad account and a business ad account, and they are both completely different, right? One is, they utilize the same platform, but they are different. One is actually just everyone gets one, and then one is actually for your business. You get a couple different things that you can add. You can add partner IDs and stuff like that. So if you go to business.facebook.com, you can create your own account, and it always connects with your business page and your personal Facebook account. So just keep that in mind. Everyone gets that confused. So first thing, when we're in Ads Manager, we're just going to hit create. Let's start over. And what I'm going to teach you right now is lead generation. We use this for every single client that we're running. Even Joshua's ads, we are using this specific platform to generate the leads. Why we like using this versus conversion or traffic or engagement that a lot of other people like to teach is because we're utilizing Facebook to give us the data without the consumer inputting that information. So what we do is we use a lead form that Facebook is going to auto-populate their name, phone number, email, and I'll show you there's a couple other questions you can ask. Like we have a client that's running, he's a flat fee team, and we are actually generating the address, and he's generating, I think he's closing listing 1 out of every 10 leads that we generate for him on the listing side. And what he's seen is that maybe the name's not correct, but always the 80% of the 80% of the phone numbers are correct, and about 90% of the addresses actually match up to that lead. So that's why we're using lead generation. Is this the data that Facebook is pulling in? So we would use that as our campaign, right? You always have your campaign, your ad set, and your ad. So your campaign is your objective, and our objective here is to generate a lead. Okay, and I'm just going to name this test for purposes here. So you would always name the campaign. Like, so for example, we have a client, we're going to name it, ORE, just so that they know who we are. And then we're going to name this, you can name this surprise if you want, right? Surprise homes list. Right? Or it can be single property, whatever type of ad that you're running or type of search that you're running, that's what we name it. We always leave it lead generation at the end, so we know what type of campaign it is without having to guess, right? You always want to name this whatever, like get very specific on the campaign ad set and ad name, so you know without having to go into it, edit it, and all that, what type of ad that you're running every single time. So once you have named it, you can go ahead and hit continue. Now we have to make sure that we always are selecting the right page for our clients. But if you only have one page, it should auto-populate here. If not, you can always drop down and see your page. Okay, and then so say this one here, we're going to run it for surprise, and then we're going to do maybe a 10-mile plus radius. And we'll do a homes list. All right, so again, we want to name it, whatever it is. Select the page. And down here, we've already saved that audience. So that's what I was saying, when you go through that audience, and I'll go through it one more time, setting this up completely. But if you go through and you save it, boom, it's here already. Okay, so what you want to do is, now that we know what page, and we want to dive deep on our customer avatar, who we want to target. So you have a few things here with the location that I want to touch on. You have everyone in this location, people who live in this location, people traveling in this location, people recently in this location. We are always doing one of these two here. everyone in this location or people who live in this location. Okay, so you can get very specific. You only want people that live in the location. Everyone in this location will be anyone that's traveling, maybe works in that location. 99% of the time we use everyone in this location, because if somebody works in Surprise, Arizona, but lives in Phoenix, well, guess what? Maybe they are thinking about buying a home in Surprise, right? So we use everyone in this location. If you're in a market that is very touristy, like Fort Lauderdale, where I'm at now, maybe you want to do anyone that's traveling this location, maybe, you know, or anyone that's recently in Fort Lauderdale, right? If we do that, and then we did, you know, Surprise, let's just see what, you know, there's 360 people in a 10 mile race that were recently in this location, right? But we always use everyone in this location, so just keep that as, that's always the default. So everyone in this location. But again, you can mess around with those and test those out. And if you ever have questions, Facebook's good. It always if you hit these eyes, it always tells you exactly what is people whose home is within this selected area, right? For people who live in here, people who whose home or most recent location is within this selected area. So it always tells you. Facebook's good at that, but everyone, most people, even here, like over here, it'll tell you exactly what these stats mean. So we're going to use everyone in this location in Surprise with a 10 mile radius. We know that Josh, like he just told us this customer avatar earlier, right? 25, you know, to about 45, right? Could be 55, but he likes 45, right? Could be a little bit higher if you wanted to, if your demographics are higher. But if you want to deal with that age range right there, boom, there you go. You just narrowed it down. Then we get into the detailed targeting. Again, like I said earlier, just hit Zillow. It's as easy as that. So make sure it's an interest as Zillow, and we'll just hit suggestions. Everything else will come up, and you can literally just check it off, right? Homes.com, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, mortgage calculator, residential area, single family home, detached home, house hunting, FHA insured loans, right? Mortgage loans. You can literally just dive deep. Look at all the real estate appraisals, pre-qualification lending, VA loans. You can really dive deep. Anyone that's interested in mortgage insurance. I mean, you could really, people that are Credit Karma, real estate as an interest. Right now we have 100,000 people that we can target with this audience here. Okay, and then again, we've stopped excluding, but if you wanted to exclude, you know, realtors, you know, job titles as a realtor, you can go in here, you know, Remax, right? It'll come up as a employer, you know, Keller Williams as an employer. Well, we'll just delete that. So you can just, you see there, you can just, again, just start diving in and excluding those individuals. Again, anyone can look up your ads. So if you want to hide them from anyone, they can go to your Facebook page and see what ads you're running anyways. So once you have your detailed targeting in place, remember it's all interest-based. We call it interest-based targeting. Everything in here is interest only, okay? And then we go down to our placements. So we're always going to hit this edit placements tab. What we've seen is we want to target only where the eyeballs are, and that's Facebook newsfeed, right? That's where the money is spent, and that's where everyone is scrolling on Facebook, is inside of the newsfeed. Okay, so once we've unchecked everything except for newsfeed, the last thing inside of the ad set is your budget, right? And for this one, we'll do a $5 per day budget. You can do a lifetime budget. You can run a start and an end date if it's an open house and you want to run it from Wednesday till Sunday up until, you can change the dates and times here. But what we've seen is the most effective is just to run it continuously. Facebook optimizes it better this way, and then also you can just come in and turn it off at any given time anyways. So again, even if you forget for 2 days, you're spending $10, so it's really not, you know, it's not gonna break the bank on there if you forget for a couple days. right? So $5, we've seen $5 to $10 is the most effective to keep your cost per lead down. If you're worried about that, if you want, I've seen a lot of people will teach, let's do, do $20 a day for the first 3 days to see if that's an ad that's gonna be effective or not. We've dialed it deep on, we know what works in almost every single market out there. So in the end, we know that we can put an ad out for $5 or $10 and it's gonna work anyways, right? And if it doesn't, we change the ad copy or the image or something like that. Optimization for ad delivery, we never touch this. We let Facebook optimize. Their algorithms are very good. Their pixel is very dialed in. So we're not going to touch any of that there. Any questions right now with the ad set, Josh?
No, we've got a few questions in there, but I know you're going to hit on them shortly here. So I'm just.
Yep. Awesome. Yep. Perfect. So yeah, so once we have the ad set dialed in, we're just going to hit continue, and it's going to take us to the ad. Now the ad is the creative part of the ad itself. So you always have your campaign, which is the objective, your ad set, which is your detail targeting, your audience, your placement, and your budget. Then you have your ad, which is the format, the image, which is what we call the creative part. So again, we want to name it up here. We could take lead gen off here, but what we're going to name this is surprise. This will do a homes list. Actually, we'll do a single property. And we'll name it single image so that we know it's a single property. You can even add the address in here, 123 West Main Street, right? And whatever the property is, and then it's a single property, single image, so that you always know. It doesn't have to be exact like this. Whatever tagging structure or naming structure you want to name it, you can put in here just so that it's easier for you without having to go into the ad itself and know and determine what type of ad you are running for what properties. Okay.
Brett, sorry to interrupt you, but with that ad name right there, when the lead comes in, is that what's entered in the note is on Perfect Storm, or is the ad set name?
Yes. Yes. It is the ad set name here.
Cool. And that becomes critical, you guys, because that is really the only way. One hard thing with Facebook for real estate, because we don't have a purchase pixel with our sales process. Like I'm selling a t-shirt. When somebody checks out, I can see who bought. Yeah, right? So the ad set name becomes really important, because then, you can always see what your cost per lead is that's coming in and how many leads. But then from there, one thing that I'm always obsessed with is what exact ad produced what exact sale. Right? So if you name, and they have the naming convention, right? If it's if it's an address or whatever, make sure you have that naming convention where you can go back and you can track that and see that, so you know exactly what ads are producing those results.
Yep. So for example, Josh, for our clients, like for you example, we're going to name it ORE, then it's going to be the address 123 West Main Street, right? If it's a single property, or it'll be, the homes list, whatever type of homes list it is here. And then here, we're also going to name it, just for us, single property, right? And then we'll double check. I'm almost positive it's the ad set, but when we go into your CRM, we'll just double check that in one of the notes. So I'm almost positive it's the ad set name that's pulled in for sure. But again, so this can be named whatever you want. Like they always tell you, like you'll see this ad set name in reporting, insight, tips, and notifications. Like this is just like a lot of people will do this. Like my business partner Victor, like he likes to name stuff when he's running ads for our business. Like, hey, this is this type of audience, this age range, and this, which is good. But for you guys, like you want to know what type of homes list. Like the biggest concern that we get is like, how do we know what they're looking for? Well, okay, well they came in on this specific ad that is a homes list, and if it's a homes list, we would put in here, surprise, 300K plus, right? 3 bedrooms, 3+ beds. Right, so we know that they're coming in from a homes list that's 300 plus, 3+ bedrooms, and that's the search, right? So Armando, when he gets in there, he knows, all right, I'm setting them up on 300,000 plus in 3 different cities. I don't know if he still does this, but 3 cities surrounding Surprise with 3 bedrooms or more. right? He already knows just by looking at the notes what type of ad it is. And then obviously here we would put homes list, right? So for, so you can name it, like you said, that tagging, whatever it is, and then we'll double check. Just remind me, Josh, at the Joshua, at the when we get into your CRM, we'll double check that for sure. I'm 99% positive it's the ad set. But I want to give you the audience the correct information too. Yeah, so once you get there, you can name it. Again, we're going to do a single property just to show you, and I'm going to show you a tool that we use for single property ads, so that you don't have to keep creating lead forms every single time. And it's Rebrandly, and we'll pull that up in just a moment. So once we have the address selected out, we have the single property, we named it what we want. We've tested every single one of these here: carousel, single video, single image, slideshow, single image, hands down, by far the best cost per lead. There's nothing better than these two here when you're running property ads. This is probably going to get you the best results. Why? Because it's curiosity. You always want to touch on the curiosity when you're running ads, right? So for example, when you're running an ad, the individual only on a single image is only going to see one image, and we always use the outside. If it has a pool, we use the pool image. If it does not have a pool, we just use the front of the house, and it sparks that curiosity, especially if it's a home that they think they like. They want to see what the inside is. They want to see what the price is and stuff like that. So the single image is by far the most effective. A lot of people like to, they hear from other marketers, stuff like that videos are the best. Not when it comes to lead gen. That's good when it comes to building up an audience and retargeting them, but for lead gen, single image and slideshow for real estate, by far, hands down, the best. So once we select the type of format we want, we select single image. We're going to come down here and select the image. Joshua and I are both big on this. You need to have high quality images for your ads that you're running. I see that 60% of the results is from that image and sticking out and popping out and being different from the rest of the ads that they see there. So if we browse library, we can see, we can use this one here as an example. Like, we crop it. Like, this is a very clear image, lots of blue in the background, lots of greens. It's going to pop and stick out. Is it most desirable? It's a townhouse. Is the most desirable? Probably not. But that has a lot of color. It's going to stick. It's very clear. Right? We can show another one that we like to use. Like, here's another one. I think this one's good as well. Let's close this one off. Just getting images that look very, very well, and always making sure you're coming in here cropping the images. Like, sometimes it'll look like this and it'll cut it off, but Joshua's team does a very good job at getting us good quality photos, so we don't have to worry about nothing. They're always going to fit in here perfectly and look good. We just want to make sure that we crop them, but having high definition photos, and you can always see it here what it's going to look like. It'll always on this here look a little bit pixelated, but once you see the ad, it clears up very well. So just keep in mind, if you don't have images, free stock images. This is from Shutterstock. They're free. Just use them, right? Find a home. Just type in, homes, and look for a home that is obviously you want it to be, look like your market, but you can type in house. And just find one that looks like your market, right? And there's a bunch of free by Shutterstock, and they do not charge you for this at all. So keep that in mind. If you don't have images, you can always use that. All right, so the next thing that we've done, now that we have the format, we have the image and we've cropped it, made it look nice. It's a high definition photo. The next part is the ad copy itself and the headline. So the text is always what goes above the image. The headline is always what goes here, and that's the call to action, right? So we like to use, so this one's gonna be a single property image, or single property ad. So we like to always say, call this a just listed. It might have been on the market for 3 weeks, who knows? But the consumer doesn't know that, right? Unless they look at the stats. So we have seen that depending on the market, emojis work very well. So if you're on a Mac, you can always hit Control Command Spacebar, and it'll pop up this emoji list here. Let's not put that there, right? So if you hit that, it's a little shortcut. If you're on a PC, emojipedia.org, you can go in there and you can search all the emojis. But we always start with, just to stick it out in the headline, house, and then we'll put just listed for sale in Surprise. Oh, exclamation, we'll put another home. Or it could be, looking for a new home in Surprise, right? And then what we've seen is we like to give the bedrooms and bathrooms down, and sometimes even the price in there. And we've seen that it cuts down. And Joshua, you can attest to this. Like, a lot of people say, oh, what's the prices? Oh, you're not going to give us the bedrooms and bathrooms and price without asking for our information. Sometimes we do it. Like, so we'll put in here. So if we do bedrooms, we'll do, select the bed emoji. And we'll put 3 bedrooms, and we'll do baths. All right, and we'll do 2 bedrooms. Again, your ad copy does not have to look exactly like this. It can look different as well. Just keep that in mind. If you do, say this home is in a great location, we'll do like a pin drop. Right, nice little pin drop, or you can do the map pin drop, right? Either or. All right, that would look like it's on a map. Great location. All right, so we're just getting straight. I don't know what's duplicating. There we go. So just straight to the point, and then from here you can do, check out this amazing. Hit the market. If I can spell today. For sale in Surprise. For photos, price. And I always use this, like Joshua taught me this, monthly mortgage. It still works. Mortgage. Click learn more below. And what we like to do is put some down arrows. All right, so drawing attention to them down here. Perfect. And then you can see everything that it looks like here. So you're giving them, hey, it's just listed for sale in Surprise. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and a great location. Check out, I guess we can redo this. So check out this amazing home that just hit the market for sale in Surprise. For photos, price, monthly mortgage, click learn more below, and then boom, it brings you right there, right down. So while we're on the ad copy itself, you always want to have a catching headline, right? It could be a question, it could be a statement like this, just listed. It could say, are you looking for a new home in Surprise? Right? Check out this, this beautiful home that just hit the market. Then 3-bedroom, 2-bath, great location. For photos, price, monthly mortgage, click learn more. So there's no right or wrong way, as long as you have a headline that draws attention, and you have a call to action, which is here, telling them to do something. You want more? You want this information? Click learn more below, right? So you always want a headline, your body, and some sort of call to action. The call to action is what is going to get the people. We are humans and we want to be told what to do for the most part, right? Just make it easier. Be very clear as to what you are giving them. Don't BS around this. What I've seen is a lot of people, what causes a lot of ads to not perform well is 100% the ad copy. The images is good. I'll look at it like my image is high def, my ad copy is very similar, but what they'll do is they'll jumble all this together. It looks like crap. It's not easy to read. Like they'll put it all like this where it's just, it just looks, it's hard to read when somebody's scrolling and so on and so forth. And it's not clear to what your offer is. What are you offering? Right? People want to know what it is. You only have, 6 seconds max, if that, 3 seconds, I guess, on Facebook, right? To really capture them and just give them what they want. What do they want? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If they're looking for that, they're going to take action. Now,
real quick, we got a couple questions about the emojis again on a PC. I know you said that you have a Mac.
Yeah.
What do you do on a PC again?
Yeah, it's Emojipedia, emojipedia.org. Can we paste this? Can I paste this into the chat?
Yeah.
Does that work? The chat. Shit, I don't know. Oh, here it is. Here's the chat.
All right, so that is, I'm writing it down too. So that's
okay. Cool. Emojipedia.org. That was to organizers. Now to. I guess it doesn't let me.
I got it right.
I'll let you do it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You can do it. Yeah. Emojipedia.org. They can see it here. And the way you do, you would just search here. So if you want, bed, it'll do bed, and you just click on the link, and you just hit the copy button and then paste it in there. So you would copy it here, and then go back, Control V, and it's there. Okay. Same thing.
Perfect.
Yep. And it works for anything. So like, if you wanted to type an email with this, like it'll change it to whatever system that you're using, whatever that emoji is. So you can use that for anything. And then it's Control Command Spacebar for Mac users. All right, and then any other questions about those?
Nope, I think it's it so far.
Perfect, awesome. And then so once you have your text, like I said, that's above what goes above the image. Then you got your headline for here. We like to, again, same thing. We want to cause some sort of, and you could change it up. It doesn't have to be houses every time. It could be, sometimes we'll use depending on where you're at, like, California, there's a lot of, wildfires. So we weren't using, we stopped using, the fire symbol, right? We stopped using that, but you can use that. And, if it's in a hot market, and literally just put just listed for sale in Surprise. And then maybe, do a side arrow. So right, and you get an arrow to the right, and it literally is pointing it to, the call to action over here, which will be learn more. All right, so here, just being clear what it is, just listed for sale in Surprise, boom, what's that call to action? Again, this could be just listed. This could be, search all homes for sale in Surprise. Check out all these homes, check out these homes for sale in Surprise. It's obviously going to be similar to whatever the text is, but you can change it up to whatever you want. Just make sure that it's clear, it matches the ad copy, and that you're being consistent with your ad copy, right? The next thing is so this is what they call their call to action, which is like a little button here. The only two we ever use is either download or learn more. Majority of the time it's just learn more. But if it's that, like if you're saying, hey, we've compiled a complete list of all homes for sale, starting at 250,000, our call to action is to download your complete list now. We would change this to download. Now they're not actually downloading anything. They're going to get the link for your site, right? They're going to get that instant access to that. So a lot of people ask, oh, well, they're not downloading anything, or what are they going to download? Do I have to create a list? No, it's the same concept. It's just another way to catch their attention. So learn more or download, depending on what your ad copy is here. And then from here, the last thing we have to do is create the lead form for this ad, for this specific listing. So I told you earlier, another thing that we use is called Rebrandly. It's very similar to Bitly. It's free. We can create an account. You can create an account. We can log in. So this is by the owners of ClickMeter. What you can do, what I like Rebrandly for over like Bitly, for example, is we can always change if we create a new link, right? So say, let's go to your website, Josh, sold by Joshua.com. If we go to your page and let's just click it. Come on. Basic search, and let's just use this one for example. All right, if this was the property, we can copy this link, we can go into Rebrandly. And what we can do is this slash tag. What we do for our clients, and you can do this for yourself, is we name it the last name. So so this one would be, obviously would be, Smith and then listing 1. For you guys, if you're doing it for yourself, you can just hit listing 1, create this link. Now what you can do is say this listing goes pending. You can change this out, and you can go in here to this edit button. You can change this link out for another one, right? So say we wanted this one here, we can use this one, copy this, come in here, change it out, hit save, and boom, now to open up this same exact link here, right? So we use this, and why we use this is because if you're gonna run if you have a lot of listings to promote, there's nothing worse than going in every single time and having to create a new lead form, and you'll see why. So what we do is, remember this, we're gonna copy this link. So Rebrandly /Smith listing 1. And this also keeps, you can see here, like this one here, we've had 103 people visit this. And if this means, if somebody visited this link, if they're getting this link, that means 103 leads have come through this link, right? So it's just an extra format of tracking as well. Here we go. Let me close this one out. Actually, let me leave that just in case it gets something funky. So you'll see here, everything else is going to be the same. Once we did the call to action, we'll scroll down, make sure the Facebook pixel is created and set up. Turn that on because you still want to track conversions and all that. So make sure that's turned on. And then when we come down here, you have lead form. We're just simply going to connect a new lead form. We're going to click new lead form. And the easiest way is just name it listing 1. Listing 1. I'm just going to put test in here, just so I know that we're not going to use this one after this. So test listing 1. You would just name it listing 1 if you want. And so what it is you could create, say, 4 listing 1, listing 2, listing 3, listing 4. Every time that you have this, what you would do is you would name the ad name listing 1 or listing 2 or listing 3 or listing 4. Just add it to the end so that you know, okay, this link listing 1 went pending. Boom, I can come in here and guess what? We're going to change out listing 1. All I got to do is create the ad, turn off the old ad, change out the link in Rebrandly, and create a new ad, and not have to come in here and create a lead form every single time I do that. Okay, so name it listing 1 after you've created the link. First thing I want to do is come into settings and hit open. The reason why you want this open versus restricted is open allows people to share and tag people in the ad itself. If you keep it restricted, only people that are dealt the ad inside of Facebook can see it. Like they can't share it with anybody. So make sure it's open. And then we'll go to content. If you're going to have questions, higher intent or more volume, we're always going more volume. I haven't seen, it's a much higher cost per lead, but again, online leads are online leads. There's no way to get a higher quality lead. So we're going to make sure that we leave more volume as the ad itself, or as the form type. So always leave more volume. The intro, we used to use intros. We don't use that anymore. We just go straight, it's optional. We go straight into the question. And this is what we're going to put our headline. So you'll see here, it says learn more by providing your info below. What we're just going to put here is for instant access to this amazing home that, let me spell correct, home that just hit the market for sale. Click learn more below. And you cannot put emojis in here, so don't put emojis, they won't show up. So the reason why we're not putting like, hey, check out this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that just hit the market, click learn more below, is because we're going to utilize, we want this lead form to be as vague as possible so that we can reuse it over and over and over again, utilizing Rebrandly's link. So once you put that, this is where the fun part is. And anything that has check boxes here, name, full name, email, first name, last name, phone number, city, state, zip code, address, everything. If they're in the military, what their gender is, all of these are auto-populated directly from Facebook's business, their Facebook profile. Now, keep in mind, you are using Perfect Storm, so you cannot use full name. It needs to be first name and last name. Okay, and then first name, last name, email. I'm just telling you this. I don't know 100% if you can use full name. I would just rather teach you the way I do it, which is first name, last name, email, phone number. Okay, so that's what we do: first name, last name, email, phone number, and those are the questions that we would use. And for your so the next step is your privacy policy. Facebook is very, very, very strict on this. So this needs to be the correct address, or they will ban your Facebook account the first time it doesn't line up with your privacy policy page. And they don't always check this. You may have been getting away with it for a while, but we've had clients where we actually put in what we thought was a privacy policy page, but was not the correct one. And gotten ad accounts banned. Now you can obviously create a new ad account and start over, but it's just a pain in the butt to have to deal with that. So Perfect Storm makes it very, very, very easy. So let me just go back to this page. So if you're on the home page, let me just already registered, click to sign in. Perfect. All right. So if you're on the home page, whatever your website is, all you have to do is put /terms, actually privacy, not terms, privacy.php. And this is the privacy page they want to see. It doesn't need to be the terms page. I know that's what a lot of you may have been using, but it actually has to be this. Facebook wants to know that you're not collecting this data and selling it to third party, that you're only using it for personal use only. So make sure that every lead form you create has your website address /privacy.php, and it'll look like your website. It'll have your website on it. Everything will look the same. It'll just bring you to Perfect Storm's privacy page. So make sure that is there. That is the most important thing when it comes to lead forms, because you don't want to get your account banned. So you can just copy that, or if you know it off the top of your head, just paste it in there. That's all you need to do. You don't need to add any disclaimers. You don't need to add any link text or nothing like that. Simply just put in the URL and move on. And then the last part is the thank you page. So how a Facebook lead form works is they're going to see your ad. You're going to generate the lead. So once they've gotten to the thank you page, whether they go to your website or not, guess what? They become a lead. They are in so there's no more bounce rates anymore. There's nothing like that. You're not going to get a lot of traffic to your website, but guess what? You've already gotten their information. That's the most important thing, because now you're in control of following up with them. So when we get to the thank you page, the headline, I always leave it, thanks, you're all set. I just change out the description, right? So it's just as simple as this. Click, I can type today, click view home below for instant access. It's as simple as that. And then where it says view website, we just type in view home, and then the button over here will change. And the last part, this is where we will put that rebrandly link, right? So what we're going to do is copy this rebrandly link here, and we're going to paste it here. And what we're going to do is hit save and finish.
All right, hey,
that is it.
Real quick with that, dude, because when you showed that spreadsheet of the additional questions that you're asking on that lead,
I'm going to go back into that
area for custom questions. Is that what you're asking those? Like, do you own the home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in. I just wanted to go through setting up one ad like you asked, and then I'll go into that for sure. Absolutely. Yep. And then I'll show you, and then I'll explain why I use Rebrandly. It'll be easier once I've already created one to come back in here and be like, all right, this is why I use it. because I know a lot of people might be a little confused as to why I use Rebrandly instead of the actual link. It's because you can't, once we've already created this lead form, I cannot go and edit it anymore. The only thing I can do is duplicate it. So instead of creating new lead form after lead form after lead form, we use Rebrandly and put that link in there. So yeah, I'll go, I'm gonna show right now. And then we would hit, I'm not gonna hit confirm because I don't care to run this ad, obviously. And then you would just hit confirm and we're done. Okay, so if we went and we wanted to test this out, for example, actually, let's take this back. Because you said we may have new Perfect Storm users.
Yeah.
Yep. So what we want to do is now from here, once you've created the lead form, you need to go into Perfect Storm, into leads.perfectstormnow.com, and you need to make sure that your Facebook is set up and connected to get the to get everything inside, to get everything connected and integrated over. All right, I know it's in here. And I know I have two in here, Joshua. Bear with me. I know we have your password. No.
I just texted in case.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So
I know it's in my base camp, but I don't want to show. It's in my base camp, but I don't want to show the password, obviously, right?
Yeah. So what Brett's gonna do now, guys, is go into back to your settings to make sure that the CRMs connect with that lead form. The only thing I would say that he didn't show previously up to this point would be before you throw out Rebrandly, you're going into the lead tool, the marketing tool, in here and creating a link, correct? So you can select lead form.
Okay, so yes, okay, so yeah, so you can do that now. Now Facebook doesn't like that pop-up.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't like that pop-up. We don't do that anymore. That data is good, but it's not worth getting your ad account banned for. So what they don't like is having that double opt-in, where it's like, hey, they just gave you their information and now they're going to your website and you're asking for their information again. That's what they look at that as. You can use that. So yeah, let me walk you through that. So what Josh is talking about is creating that pop-up so you can get that data of what they're searching. So what you would do is go into, and it's been so long since here it is, marketing link builder. You're going to do obviously property details page. So I don't have
what you would do though, and with the style you're running is instead of actually selecting lead ad, you're just selecting as a non-lead ad and then having your clicks spread out for your per clicks on the website before they get opted in again, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, you can actually turn that off. You can turn the lead capture off now.
Okay, cool.
So I just turned the lead capture off. But some clients that we have, like you're all in on Facebook right now. If you went back to Google pay-per-click, for example, we would turn that back on and it would be just not the best user experience. But in the end, it's all about generating lead anyways for us as business owners. Or you could still utilize this, but again, for us, the last thing I want is you as a Perfect Storm client to come in and be like, hey, you got my ad account banned. You know what I mean? Like, now you fix it kind of thing, like that's the last thing I want to do. So we stopped doing that for our clients. But if you're doing this yourself, so what you would do is you would create a search result. And we'll just do a quick one. So whether it is search results page is if you want to create a list of homes, and property details page is if you want a single listing. I don't have an MLS off the top of my head, so I'm not going to create the single property. But so we'll go through the results and show you what Joshua was just talking about. So at the bottom for Facebook, it asks, the link asks two different things. Is it a lead routing? That means if you want to assign the leads to specific agents, yes or no, we'll do no, right? And then ad tracking. Do you want to track this advertisement? Yes. And then you can name it whatever it is. This would be, homes list test. Is it paid or organic? And where is the advertising source? Is it Facebook, Instagram, Craigslist, AdWorks? What is it? So Facebook, obviously. And then right here, it says Facebook lead ad forced login. What that is when it creates this link, it's going to put a piece of code at the end of it that because what happens is when a lead comes in from Facebook lead ads, that what we just showed you how to create, they are actually not, it's creating an account, but not an account that they've actually logged into. So we have to get them to log into their account, and Perfect Storm's done a good job. And maybe we can start, we'll probably start testing this out again, but like I said, we started to get a lot of ads denied, and when you get a lot of ads denied, then they start, they'll ban your account at some point. So the last thing we want to do is have that happen. So what you do is you just click yes and hit generate link, and what it's going to do is down here it gives you this and PS _ FB equals 1. You don't have to generate this link. I can go back into Rebrandly, take this piece of code, edit this, and I can add it to any, if it's a single property, it's $FB _, right? So if it's a single property, it's the property details page, it's a question mark, right? So now what'll happen is if I visit this page, and it's probably not going to do it because it's coming from Rebrand, because I didn't come from Facebook, but I'll show you in the link builder, view page. Oh, I got to log out. Sorry, that's why. So let's go. Let's try this one more time. View page. Well, let's copy and paste that. There we go. So you have to copy and paste. So they would have to log in, and they could only click the login if they came in from a Facebook lead ad. So if I hit click login, or if they already have an account. So if they do not have an account with Facebook and they click on that, or you put this link out here with this somewhere, it will not let them log in and won't get them past that at all. So they have to have some sort of account. And again, here, let's refresh this one. I've logged out, and here it'll log in. So question mark Perfect Storm _ FB equals 1 is for detailed pages, single properties. So if I use this link here that we just did and I added that, right, question mark, it will show up like this. And when they log in, what it'll do is it'll connect this data that is now being tracked with that account that is created from that Facebook lead ad. So that's a way, if seeing that data, that their search histories and all that is very important to you, that's the route that you would go. So I'm glad you touched on that, Joshua. We're just not doing it for our clients because it's just too much of a risk for us getting your ad accounts banned.
So yeah, I mean, so what you're saying is, look, I mean, well, and it makes sense for user experience just to turn it off. I mean, if you're just doing lead ads like I'm doing, it just makes the most sense to shut it off completely.
Correct, absolutely, because you're getting the name of what they're searching anyways. And Armando is going to go in there, see that note, and create it. He's not really worried about what they're looking at on the site. Does it help a little bit? Yeah, but it hasn't hindered your guys' success at any point. So yeah, so for us it doesn't. So what you would do is if you're only running Facebook lead ads, you're not going to run conversion ads or anything. What you would do is you would just go into your website settings inside of lead capture, and you're just going to disable the forced registration pop-up, right? And this one was actually I forgot. Yeah, no, yours was 25. We're running 15 property views, so you still get that data. So what it's going to do is every 15. That's what we did. 15, not disabled here, Joshua. So every 15 properties that they view, that pop-up will come up to start collecting that data. So you could change this anyway, but you can just literally just disable it, hit save changes, and that's that. You give the user the best experience, let them search as much as they want without having to ask them for more information. But those are all the different ways that you can create links. So again, hopefully people are asking questions. If, you know, I know we went a little bit off topic here, but it's an important thing, and I'm glad you brought that up for sure. So
yeah.
Cool. So what we would do is
connection in the settings.
Say that again.
I think the last thing would just be that CRM connection in the settings, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So once you've created this lead form here, what we want to do is go log into Perfect Storm. If you're new to Perfect Storm and have not, or just new to running Facebook lead ads, you want to come into your My Personal Settings. I'm not going to walk through it because if well, actually I can hit manage, it's not connect. You would see this connect button, and then it would connect your personal Facebook account to this. When you hit manage, then again, you see all the different ads that are here that are connected here, but you'll just look for your business page. Right here, I was about to say this one down here. Okay, so you have, you know, Joshua Smith is here. It's already subscribed. And you see that this is the new lead form, and that's how simple Perfect Storm makes it. And if you're on so you see all of Joshua's are CRM. If you're on a lead routing, it's either individual or CRM. And if it's a buyer or seller ad, it's buyer or seller. Just as simple as that. But what you would do is you would connect it, you would come in here, and you'd have to hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to mess with anything because it would run it off of my Facebook account right now. And I don't have to make Joshua do any work after this webinar, right? So it's just that simple. Inside of Perfect Storm's, inside the Facebook page, I did a video on how to connect this. So you can just search for that. Just search my name and anything that I've posted, and you'll see that in there on how to actually set this up for the first time. So I just wanted to do that. If you have issues with your connection, you can just always hit remove integration, reconnect the integration, and come in here and hit the save subscribe. After you've done it the first time, you'll never have to come back and do it. Anytime you create lead forms, they'll auto-populate in here. The only time you'll have to come in here is if you need to change the lead rotation to CRM. That's it. So that's what you would do after that. Other than that, you are done. You are good, and your ad will then obviously go pending, and the leads literally will start rolling in that day. They are that powerful. You'll get leads to roll in right away. So yeah, we'll jump into some Q&A here in just a moment, but I want to show you that data, those custom questions, and why we use Rebrandly. So now, say if we had a second listing that we were promoting, well, we can create the ad. Instead of coming in here and having to create a whole new one, we can literally hit duplicate, change this to listing 2. Everything else is going to be the same. I would just name Smith listing 2, and that would be my link, right? And then that's duplicating it. And then after listing 2, like if you had only 2 listings running at a time, literally all you have to do is come in here and select listing 2 and change the link inside Rebrandly here. So you would just hit edit this link, and boom, you're done. And then you would just select listing 1's lead form. Where did it go? Creation. So when you're inside, now we're going to talk about the custom questions. So when you're inside of a lead form and you want to ask those custom questions, you're always going to same thing, do first name, last name, email, and phone number in that order. And then down here, you're just going to simply hit add custom questions. And what we want is all multiple choice. That is it. And we're just literally going to type in what we want to do it. When do you want to be in your new home? Question mark. And we can put 1 to 3 months. Literally just hit enter. 3 to 6 months. Hit enter. 6 to 12 months. Hit enter. 1 plus year, or 1 year plus. Hit enter, and not sure. All right, so give them a couple options. You don't have to add all these. If you want to, you can narrow it down, but just give them options. And then you literally just hit add another multiple choice question. Do you rent or own? And you can put yes. No. Hit enter for both those and it'll pop up. Add another question. Multiple choice. What is your preferred, or just what is your price range? Question mark. You know, then just based off of, obviously, if you're in a higher market, you would start it, you know, if it's 550,000 to 650,000, that's your lowest end. 650K. Enter, and then, you know, and then 650K to 750K, enter, and so on and so forth. And then literally just ask as many questions. We only, like I said, we only ask time frame, rent or own, price range. What was 1/4 one? Let me see. Bedrooms that they're looking for. So multiple choice, how many bedrooms do you need? Question mark. And then same thing, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 6+ if it needs to be, right? Whatever, like, you know, we just put 2, 3, 4+. And that's it. And then you would literally just do the same steps, PHP, whatever that link is to that homes list, or even if it's just a single property ad, right? What that is. And then you would hit save and finish. And that's simply it. So once they come in, what it's going to look like over here is they're going to get these questions first, right? When do you want to be in your new home? 3 to 6 months. Do you rent or do you own? Shoot, I got to change. I would have to change that. So that would be rent or own, not yes or no. Sorry for that. So it'd be, so yeah, say yes, they own. They would click yes, right? What is your price range? Here's what the price ranges would look like. How many bedrooms and bathrooms? Boom, 4. And then all this information here would be auto-populated, so they don't have to do anything. Then they would hit the submit button, and it would take them to the thank you page. And then once the lead starts running, then you'll come in here and you click. You'll see. Let me pull up a lead source. Facebook lead ad. See if we have one in here for, oh, close without saving. Nope. So let's do a correction on that. It is ad name. The actual ad name is what shows up, Joshua, in the notes.
Okay.
Let's see if we can find one that has all the data on it. Easiest is just going to be, let me go in here and copy a name. Rogers. Leads, search, Rogers. I think it was Alan. Filter. Let's click filters. And it's not in there. Last name Ross. Perfect. So here we go. So you're going to get, this is what the stat's going to look like. New lead added. It's going to say, and in the note section, it's going to have the name. So you're going to know it's a Phoenix open house list, and then it's long form. And then here are the questions. When are you looking to be in your new home? 1+ years. How many bedrooms would you like? 4+. What's your price range you're interested in? 150K to 250. And do you rent or own? And this one owns a home, right? So that is how the lead. So it's ad name. So in that tagging inside the ad tab itself, you're going to name it whatever the search is, or the single property address or what it is, and then the rest will follow. And this is all auto-populated, so you do not have to download a CSV file or anything like that. And then what I would do for me, if this was my CRM, I want to know they own. So I'm coming over here and I'm assigning this, like, so if this was Armando, I'm not going to mess with it now, but I would drop down and I would select his name as well. So you know that it's a buyer and a seller lead. Your follow-up could be different, right? If we can find a way for Perfect Storm to pull this data in right here and know that they're a seller and a buyer, and maybe put a combined drip campaign where it's both buying and selling, that could be something, right? Or if you want to do that yourself, you know that they own a home, so you put them on, you know, the buyer lead email and text, but then you also want to put them on a general sellers campaign, you can do that as well. So just knowing that definitely helps as well. So that's what I would do if it was my CRM. Just come in here and know that they are a buyer/seller, so you can you know, follow up accordingly with that. So from there, Josh, I think we can jump into Q&A and really dive deep on some questions and different types of concerns that everyone, doesn't have to be what we're going over now, it could be anything. So
Cool, man. Yeah, we got a lot. So, right. So Brian's question is, and I think Brian probably noticed this going through this, but is asking, he's like, the spelling's a little off. That's the problem with the chat box here, but I need a landing page to a Facebook business page to run Facebook ads. So, I mean, I guess what you saw there, Brian, is you need your Facebook business page to run the ads. And
yes,
everything else is done with Perfect Storm, because if you're on here, you're a Perfect Storm client. So you already have everything that you need. We just need to create a Facebook business page, which is free. And in the back of Perfect Storm's training in the CRM, we show you how to do that. So, but that was one of the first questions that came in. Amanda says, do you feel individual home ads are running better than homes in a certain price point?
To be honest with you, so I mean, we have the screen up here. I mean, if we look at all the single property ads that we're running for you right now, we got 3,900, you know, 3,904 generated at 340, right? That's lifetime. If we look at this month, they're right about the same, man. Like it's $3.05 for a homes list ad, single properties, $3.60. Long form ads are $6.70, right? So,
like a copy of the long form, just so they can maybe, I mean, is that,
yeah,
when you mean long form, that's only the lead form. You're not talking about,
that's it. Yeah. No. That's just the questions we're asking. That's it. So everything else is the same except for the lead form that you're creating. So like, you know, if we click on here and we hit, we go to the ad and preview. So this is an open house. All right. So so the ad comment is stop driving around trying to find the open houses every weekend. I put together a free exclusive list of the hottest homes for sale in Phoenix well, I guess I should go in there and change it, with open houses starting at 200,000. List includes price, photos, monthly mortgage, and much more. Click learn more below. All open houses this weekend in Phoenix, right? And that's simply all it is. And there's a nice picture of the back pool area of a home. And from there, it's, you know, we're running this at $10 a day, and it's, you know, $727 a lead, relative score of 8. Yeah, so you can see, I mean, that's essentially what we're running. We have, you know, and then another one, you know, this is another homes list ad that's a pool homes. We can view this one. All right, Felix list hottest pool homes for sale in Surprise starting at 225,000. List includes price, photos, monthly mortgage, like just simple, to the point, no emojis on this one. And it's actually, you know, converting a little bit better. Look how many, you know, 5 comments, 4 shares, 21 likes versus the other one, because it's, you know, it's a hotter, it's $6.20 this month at an 8 relevant score, right? So typically the listings, single property listings, work the best for the cost per lead and the relevant score. It's not that it necessarily converts the best either, right? So if you want as much automation as possible, homes lists are the route to go, because with single properties, you're always having to go in and change the ads consistently Like for example, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ads running at right now, right? 8 ads that are running right now. I mean, you see anywhere from 9 cents to $10, you know, or 90 cents, not 9 cents, right? 90 cents. But like we talked about earlier, does 90 cents really mean more leads? Or not more leads, it definitely means more leads. A better quality lead, not necessarily, but it really depends. If you're one of those that's not concerned about your cost per acquisition, which you should be, but you're more concerned about the cost per lead and building that pipeline, for most of our clients, single property is definitely the way to go, for sure.
Cool. And I think you just answered Sean's question, which is, hey, if I want to run a lead ad for each of my listings, do I create a new campaign for each or a new ad set for each? Which you just showed, these are all, you got one campaign and then an ad set for each.
Correct. It's all, yeah, we run everything. So single properties are under one campaign because we want to know, like, hey, what's converting better? So one single properties lead gen, we create one campaign for it. And then each ad set has one ad inside of it, right? So if we click on one of these, it should only have one ad inside of it, which it does.
Cool. All right, so a lot of questions here. So Elliot says, do you add extra questions on the Facebook long forms for all ads, single property ads, or just specific home list ads?
No, you could do it for every single ad that you have there, for sure. We have only been testing it on single or homes list ads, but you can absolutely run it for single property ads. You can create it whatever lead form you create, you can put it in there. Again, we have about $2,000 in ad spend behind it, and it's pretty much the same results across the board. It's about 40, you know, I say 35 because a lot of those may not be accurate as far as if they own, but 35 own a home and the rest are renters. But yeah, you can add it to any ad that you create. It does not matter what type of ad it is.
All right, cool. Renee says, and I don't know if you know this because I don't, but what is and how do we set up an offline event pixel?
To be honest, so an offline event, there really is no way for Perfect Storm to do that. An offline event pixel would be like if they came into your coffee shop and you have a CRM that's connected with like Square or something like that, and they have an email, like there's no real need for an offline offline event because there's no way for you to track that. That's all that offline is somebody coming into your storefront and purchasing from you versus purchasing on your website. And you just connect that to whatever processor. But yeah, we wouldn't need. There's no need for us to have an offline lead pixel.
Cool. Then James says, hey, are you saying not to have a second lead capture on Perfect Storm? So this is what we're talking about when you're running lead ads, not have the second pop up.
Yep. I personally would not. Well, I wouldn't have it all like yours. Joshua was running at 15, and I have to check with Kristen. She's the one like testing that out. I think we've been testing it out, and to be honest, you just have, if you're only running Facebook lead ads, just keep it off. I mean, as long as you're naming the ads, you know where they're coming in from and what they're interested in. I don't think, this is just my opinion. Everyone has different opinions. Some people think that knowing that data on the back end helps convert a lead better. I absolutely do not think it does. It's all your follow-up, 100%. Right? If you're following up or you're not, and that's the difference. So yeah, it just, I look at it as I want to give the consumer the best experience possible. That way, when I pick up that phone, they're not frustrated at me because my website asked them 18 times for their contact information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's what.
Brenda says, how long do you typically run each lead gen ad for?
Yep. So I always let the ad run for at least 7 days, unless there's absolutely no leads in it, right? We used to let it run for 72 hours, but they have this whole new learning data. So it's this learning time frame, I guess they call it, or whatever it is. So that's the pixel generating as much data as possible so that they can optimize your ad for the best return possible. So you can see this. I mean, this one ad has been running since August 6th at $3.40. Right? If we look at and that's this month. If we look at lifetime, $3.50. It's no different. So, and this ad is still, this listing is still active. Obviously, we're going to run it, right? If we look at the last 7 days, right, $3.21. Like, why? Like this one, I'm going to go here and I can tell you I'm going to turn this one off right now. There's no reason, even though it's $10 per lead, like there's no reason I'm spending $33 on a lead. You know what I mean? So you always want to know. You always at least let it run for 7 days. I always tell everyone the ad itself is going to tell the story. The data is in the history. So if you've let an ad run for 7 days and it's crushing it, if you come in here, you always want to know, okay, the last 7 days, the last 14 days, right? So here, everything's right around $3.96, $4.65. All right, what was the last 30 days, right? So last 30 days, 14, last 7, like you want to come in, if there's something off, you know, last 7 days, like you saw that one, $33, boom, I'm turning that thing off right away, right? Or, you know, you can run it in the last, you know, now we can look at the last 3 days. So I always let it run 7 days and then just continue to pay attention to it. Like the last 7 day or last 3 day, well, I guess this is a 3 day period. What's the last 3 days here? Update. Right, boom. So we're here, you know, 75 cents. This one doesn't have anything. So we could, you know, we could look at this and see where we're at with that and why it doesn't have leads. We could change up the ad copy, duplicate it, you know, do what we need to do and come in here and be like, all right, in the last 3 days, boom, we're at $2.67 per lead. All right. So always letting the leads get enough time and enough exposure to the market. And you can do this for everyone. So that's why I said, if you want automation, you want something that is sustainable and long-term, like boom, I'm going to let this homes list, you know, I'm going to create as many homes list ads as possible because that link is always created. So let it run for 7 days and then you can see where it has gone. And it usually tells you where it's going to go as well as far as the future.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, and on the flip side of that, I mean, I've had ads that kept producing good results for a year, and I just let them ride. Like, from there, you let it ride as long as whatever you're good with the cost per lead, you know, right?
That's it. As long as it's producing, like, and you might go like we saw that one at $30, $30 per lead. But guess what? That pixel might start kicking up, and in the next 7 days, it could be $3 per lead. You know, I've seen crazy things happen. But usually, yeah, usually if you go a 3 to 5 day period where you have like shitty results, just turn it off, duplicate it, and create a new one if you want to, if it was performing. Jeremy Smith, who asked a question earlier, you know, when we were at your mastermind in April, like he had 2 ads that were running for over 6 months that were at like $2 per lead consistently. So yeah, it's as long as you're paying attention to it and not, you know, and it's within that cost per lead that you want, you're good.
Yeah. So then Cynthia says, can I hire Brett to do this for me? So before Brett answers this, yeah, I just want to say this, guys. You know, I mean, I'm a big believer, and I mean, I want to delegate as much as I possibly can. More than that way, I can go utilize my time in the best way that I can utilize my time. And I ran my own Facebook ads for several years before I started outsourcing it. And I mean, number one, Brett does a better job than I can do. I mean, this is all he and his team do now at this point. So, you know, because like for me, I'll get busy and I'll go like a week without checking them, and my cost per lead will spike up to $10. And so even the, you know, small fee that they charge for me to pay them, I end up making up for it. My cost per lead, they're able to get me a better cost per lead. So when you put everything all together, it ends up saving me money either way. But then as real estate agents, what do we really make our money? We really make our money setting appointments, conducting those appointments, and negotiating contracts, right? So I just want the leads flowing in so then I can focus all my time in the fall so I can set the appointments with the follow-up, conduct the appointments, and negotiate contracts. So I'm a huge believer in it. And as I said, Brett runs mine. But Brett, if Cynthia or anybody else wants to go to you, because I mean, dude, it's insanely cheap too. You know, man, it's crazy. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it, but what's the best place to reach out to you for that?
Yeah, and I put it on here, like, so on this, it's optimal. The easiest thing is just schedule a strategy call with one of my team members, Mike. Here, let me pull it up. I put it in the PowerPoint. I didn't want to show it because I didn't know if, you know, if you wanted me to or not. So that's why I didn't show it, but it's optimized. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's optimizedrealestate.com/strategy session. and the session spelt wrong because we have a bunch of different links out there. So we just mess up, so we know how to spell. But yeah, just go here. So it's no I in the session. Optimizerealestate.com/strategy session, I guess. And you'll get, you can just schedule strategy calls, no obligation, no hassle. For perfect storm clients, we do offer a no setup fee. We do have, so how it works is at the 3-month minimum, no setup fee. With a setup fee, we waive the setup fee for all perfect storm clients, because what we've seen is it's the easiest platform for us and our team to utilize and get you set up and running and going forward. But Mike can definitely share pricing and details. And to be honest, like Joshua said, like we've made this super, super affordable for most agents and that want to delegate it out. So your cost per acquisition right now, Joshua, you said $260, whatever. Does that include our fee as well?
No, that's a
okay.
counting your fee. But if I count your fee with that, I mean, we'd still be, because if we look at that right now, we're closing, what are we closing? 4.5 a month from what you're running. So
yeah, you're still crushing it.
It's going to be 29 grand minus our 2,000 ad spend minus your 500 fee. So 20. We still net 26. Right?
Yeah. So done. And you don't have to deal with it anymore, right? You can go on and build other businesses, stuff like that. So yeah. Again, I'm not going to try to sell. If you guys want to schedule that, that's the easiest way. It's just going to their optimizerealestate.com strategy session. So
cool.
Without an eye.
Yeah, and you guys, I just put that in the comments box, and you can hit me up in the group too. I mean, Brett's not he's not here to sell you guys. So
no,
but I just, as a client of his, dude, he's just the bomb. So I recommend him to everybody. But you can always hit me up too in the group or whatever if you want me to connect you guys. And I think you're in the group too, aren't you, bro?
Yeah, I'm in the group. You guys can always hit me up anytime. At all, even if it's just questions you have about running, just tag me and I'll definitely answer it for sure.
Yep, perfect, awesome. So, all right, so I got a lot of questions. Is this being recorded? Yep, it's being recorded, and we'll have this uploaded tonight. Darius says, "Hey, what converts better, lead ads or conversion ads?"
Well, it depends, I guess, what you look at as conversion, cost per lead. They're pretty much the same. It depends, but the difference between lead ads and conversion ads is that the data is about 60 to 80% correct in most markets as far as name, phone number, and email. Of course, you're going to get some wrong data, but the cost per lead is about the same. But I look at a lead now, since we have lead form, I want name, phone, and email every single time. If I don't have that, it's not a lead to me, right? Yes, I know a name and just having them in the pipeline as an email, 100%, but I'm looking at, like, I tell all our clients, if they ask us what a lead is, name, phone number, and email. As far as, I don't know, Joshua, you have more stats. I mean, is your conversion rate higher as far as lead to closing with lead forms versus conversion? I guess that'd be a better question as far as that goes.
It's been substantial. I mean, it gets somewhat hard to track, you guys, because the longer that you're following up with any online lead, the better your conversions get over time. But what we saw when we first switched over to lead ads, compared to conversion ads, when we first went to conversion ads, we were like 1 out of 300, right? And it took about 6 solid months to get us down to about 1 out of 150, and then it took about a year to get down to 1 out of 100. Right out of the gate with lead ads, we're 1 out of 100, and now we're like 1 out of 84 roughly with lead ads. But and that was, I haven't done the math for about a month now, but last time I checked, it was 1 out of 84. So with that, though, the reason that well, at least I guess it could be theory. I don't think it's theory at all, but because the data is so much more accurate, right? Like if you think about our behavior, man, we give Facebook everything. We trust Facebook with everything. So when they're opting in on Facebook, it autofills it. Plus, they just don't care. Well, when they go out of Facebook and they jump onto our site, it gives them a little bit more time to think of the Mickey Mouse, emails, whatever. And then they just don't subconsciously, consciously, whatever. They just don't, the trust element isn't there. So we definitely get much more accurate information. Plus, because we require phone numbers, we just get way more phone numbers. So.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And So that's what I've seen. That's what a lot of clients have seen, and it's definitely 100%. Like you said, right off the bat, you're converting at what it took you, a year and a half to do with conversion. So
Cool. All right. So we got a question from Dennis, who is up in Canada. And he asked, hey, Canada, what interests would you use in Facebook? I mean, they don't have, I think Zillow is just now breaking in up in the Canadian market. But up to this point, they haven't had Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com. I don't know what all they have up there, whether it is, Realtor.ca. I know there's a big one up there, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, and we can go.
Clients up there?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have 3 clients in Canada, actually. Here you go. You can see we're not running, that was just this week, but if we look at lifetime, $2.36 per lead. But if we go in and we look at the ad set, edit. So in here, we're just running homes.com, house hunting, mortgage bank, mortgage calculator, property finder, Trulia, Zillow, and mortgage loans. That's pretty much all we're running, and still getting great results, even with how crazy Canada's privacy policy laws are up there. So yeah, definitely it's pretty much the same stats, same interest and everything. When you're up there, like I said, you just literally type, same thing. If just type in Zillow and whatever suggestions comes up. Pre-qualification lending. Because remember, all this is data that Facebook has collected. This is not third-party data. So everything's pretty much going to be the same thing. Redfin, real estate, everything's all going to be, you can add it up, from 65 to 190 now, right? So yeah, all the interests are pretty much the same for sure.
Yeah, and then it's just like Brett said, if you just put your mindset in the shoes of the consumer, just to ask, like, man, I always ask my clients, or when I was working with clients, because I see, and I still have teammates that will hit me up on this all the time too. They'll be like, man, how do I get my buyers off Zillow and keep on searching on my site? I'm like, yeah, good luck with that, dude. Right? Like, me, man.
For real.
I'm a realtor. I got access to the MLS. I get on Zillow to search properties compared to the MLS. Like that, it's so dope. Right? So I just ask my clients, hey, what's your favorite home search app? Right. And then when I ask them that, then I tell them what to do. And hey, if you find the house that you want there, this is what you do with it. So then I can get in there right away. And I'm not gonna have resistance to what is, but when you're working with your clients up there, and you probably already know Dennis. I know you've been a top producer, for a long time. But just to ask, man, new clients you work with, new leads you work with, just ask, hey, what have you been searching online? What's been your favorite tool so far? And whatever. And that'll probably give you a lot of good targeted interest detailed data as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the same thing with all my clients too, because one, I want to take them away from, hey, you're searching on that, boom, just send, just share that with me, and I can schedule the showing right away, versus them asking for more information from another realtor and taking that as well. But yeah, 100% definitely ask. The more questions you ask the consumer, the more data that you'll get, and the more ideas that you'll come up with, and it'll help you with your ad copy. If you know that your average, your perfect client, wants a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and their pain is that they can't find homes, in the $300,000 to $400,000 price point. Well, guess what? You're creating that list, and they're getting that updated search. So yeah, just the more, like Jeff said, the more data you can get, the better it helps you with your ads for sure.
Cool, man. Just a few last questions here. So Errol says, so my question is, you run Rebrandly for the lead ad form and disable force login and PS. If so, should I redo all my current ads for Rebrandly links and not use the link builder in PS? Or would you just keep what's going? And
yeah, I would just keep what's going. To be honest with you, so from moving forward, you can always create the link inside a link builder, or you can just go to your website, right? Just go to the front end of your site and create a search there as well. It is easier to do it back here as an individual, because you're already logged into the CRM most of the time. But for us as a company, it's easier for us just to go to our consumers, homepage, for the simple fact that we just make a link in our Basecamp, which is our client management software, and we just click it and it brings us to there instead of having to log in and create the link and do all that. Like we just create the searches from here. But yeah, I would just keep it moving with what you got, and maybe moving forward, doing that, so you don't have to create those. If it's a homes list ad, it's done. Like you don't have to create it. I would only do it for your single property ads moving forward.
Awesome. All right. So, and this is a great question from Chris here. I live in a small market where most of our buyers are coming from out of the area. Any recommendations on how to target out of area buyers?
So, depends how far out of the area. But like I said, so you can always do, like I was telling you, inside of here, inside the ad set, let's create a new one. This is one way, right? Anyone recently in this location. So, if we want the server, surprise, and we did say a 10-mile radius, right? Anyone recently in this, I mean, you've got 360,000 people that are really recently in this location. So that means anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world, if they were in this at any given point, it'll go there. And it tells you more, like I said, you click here, whose most recent location was within this area. So that's one way you can do it. Another is if you really know specifically where they're coming from. If it's a different state and city, you can target those states. We have one client that's in the Napa Valley area, Sonoma area, and it's wine country. People mostly buy second homes there. And what we're doing is targeting anyone in San Francisco, Sacramento, and one other city that most of those clients are buying second homes from. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more costly of a lead. I think she's generating leads at like $10 per lead, but her average price point's like 1.5 million. You know what I mean? So if she can spend that much, but yeah, just knowing your market, where they're coming from, or just using people recently in this location. If it does not give you a lot, there's still going to be people. I mean, you can go up to a 50-mile radius. Right, so if you know they're within 50 miles, you can just do that and do everyone in this 50-mile radius. So there's a bunch of different options. The only real way to know what's going to work is to test it out, and doing it one of those couple ways.
Yep. All right. So then, all right. So Brenda says, at what point do you consider retargeting leads or link clicks?
Yeah. So after lots of testing and stuff like that, I know. About a year ago when we started this, it was like we drive traffic and then retarget, and it worked. But over time, the audiences are so small that what we do is just go straight for cold traffic, right? So what we do, and that's for our clients, because most of our clients, like, it just generate leads. And what we do is we just exclude anyone that has created a lead form, so that it's always just going straight to cold traffic. Anyone that has created a lead form, we are then excluding them, right? So exclude.
Yeah, and you can go in your audience.
Yeah.
Like, hey, anybody that's fired off your lead or whatever.
Yeah. So you can create lead forms not completed, lead form not completed. There's a lead form completed somewhere in here. Lead form completed, but you see here, like, it's less than 1,000 people in the last 90 days. Like, I mean, this one has to be, we have them in here, but yeah, you're just going to create that lead form inside of here, and then create the custom audience, engagement, lead form, and then anyone that didn't, opened and completed a lead form in the last 90 days, you would exclude them from the custom, as a custom audience. But that's the only thing that we do. Like, retargeting, it works, but if the name of the game is how many leads can you generate, and what we saw is that it just wasn't. It starts off as a lower cost per lead, but then it creeps up over time because you're hounding those people over and over and over again. And it just doesn't, it's just not cost effective anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll just answer this, like, Brenda, for if I were, let's just say, rewind the clock 5 years ago when I was listing very heavily in my own market, right? And I had 50 some thousand rooftops that I did massive amounts of direct mail to, and I started with open houses, and I had like a local moving truck and wrapped Hummer. Like, I just wanted to dominate all those eyeballs. So for there, every lead that would opt in, like if I was still selling and trying to brand Joshua Smith's face and name everywhere, then from there, that's where I'd retarget just leads. But that's where I'd throw in like, video ads, like the testimonial ads and other things where it's not in your face opt-in as a lead because they're already a lead, but it's getting them to constantly see my name in my face, because it's just proven that the more times the consumer sees your name and your face and your brand, the more comfortable they're going to be with you. So, that's definitely a strategy if you have the extra little money too, because then you're talking pennies on the dollar. Right?
Correct.
So if I wanted my name, my face known with that clientele, so because eventually, let's just say when I finally get them on the phone after my 14th reach out, hopefully by then they've seen my emails, they see my text, and maybe they've seen 15 ads where they finally connect my name with my face, and again, just kind of warming them up, if you will. If you have the budget.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely, and it all comes down to the budget, and for sure, and that's where the branding, your retargeting is 100% a branding play. That's the best way to go after retargeting, and like Jeff said, just continuously pound them, with different content, different client testimonials, just sold, just listed, stuff like that. You can create an ad at $1 per day if you really wanted to. So yeah. It's that's what I would use retargeting, not to try to like generate leads, for sure.
Cool. All right, so Amanda's question, this is the last question. Oh no, she just said never mind. She was asking about making sure that the lead ad was connected in Perfect Storm, which you did, but she thought she missed it, but then she said nope, never mind, figured it out. So that's it, my man. That's all the questions that I see in here. So truly appreciate you taking 2 hours and 15 minutes at your busy day to be here, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah. No, I truly appreciate it. And like I said, if you guys, if you want to schedule a call, schedule it. If you have questions specifically based off of this, I'm in the Perfect Storm group. Go ahead and I will answer whatever questions. I can't say that I'm going to be as quick as Josh to answer some of the questions, but I will definitely get to them for sure. So just post them in there if you have any questions when you're trying to run ads, if you have anything. I always tell everyone, if you have questions about specific types of ads or setting up, there's a system called useloom.com. So if you just use loom.com, it's a Chrome extension. It creates you can do a screen share, and it creates a quick video, stores it in here, and you can share a link. That's the easiest way, right? You just copy the link, you can name it. That's the easiest way to ask questions inside the Facebook group when it comes to like actual specifics about a type of ad that you're running. So if you are going to post questions, it's easier to do that than screenshots and everything, because then I can see everything right as you're what you're actually looking at as you're going through, and it just makes it easier to answer those questions. So if you do, that's all I ask, is that you do use Loom, and it just, so I don't have to ask more questions. I can see what it is that you're looking at any given time.
Awesome, badass. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. I'm gonna make sure that all this has been recorded, so I'm gonna make sure to get this rendered and get this uploaded. Probably take about 2 hours, but I'll get this to you, post it inside the Facebook group, Perfect Storm Facebook group for you guys right away. So thanks again, you guys. If you have any questions, hit us up in the Facebook group, and we will see you soon.